Hi, financial baddies. It's me, Yaya, your favorite financial researcher, and welcome back to my channel. What do I want to talk about today? Today, I'm just going to go on a tangent because it's easy. It's easy to do that. That's why I'm doing it. I'm going on a tangent. In the last video that I posted, I referenced some apps that I use to start investing. And I want to do a deep dive on one of those apps, which you probably already know because you've clicked into this video and you are watching it now, so you saw the thumbnail. I want to talk about why I stopped using Robinhood. I want to go in depth on my journey with Robinhood, why I stopped using them. That's it. Why I stopped using it. So here we go. Sorry to interrupt, but if you're watching this, that means that somehow this got into your feed. Either I shared it or it organically popped up for you. And that's because there's an algorithm working on YouTube to share videos like this. So maybe someone else liked it who's similar to you, and now you're seeing it. So if you could also like it or comment or share the video with someone who might enjoy this, then that would greatly help me out. It will help the channel out. It'll just help me grow. It's something I want to do. That's it. So that's all I wanted to say. Back to the video. So I started Robinhood in 2020, like most people did, I feel. It was a wild time, 2020. The stock market was going crazy. We were all quarantined in our homes. We were bored with nothing to do. And I, in particular, had just gotten a job making, for me at the time, what was an enormous amount of money. I was making $95,000 a year, prior to which I was only making $45,000 a year. So I had an enormous, 100 and what is that? 10% jump in my income. Someone who's better at math than me can do the math in their head. But, an over 100% jump in my income. So, I used that money to, pay off my debt, to pay off my student loans, pay off my credit card debt, and do all those good things. And then when it came time to have all this extra income, I wasn't spending it on what I would normally spend it on because I was stuck in the house. I was like, well, I should start investing. Yeah. So thus began the Robinhood journey. All of the market hoopla and watching the stocks rally and things like that. It was just this perfect storm of things to get me into investing in particular. So that's how I started with Robinhood. At the time, I had no concept of what I was doing. And when I say I had no concept of what I was doing, I had no concept of my greater goal. My goal was to make money, but I had no strategy. I had no education besides buy low, sell high. And now I know there's more to it. So essentially what I started to do was day trade. I feel like Robinhood, if you are a day trader, is the perfect app for that. It's very easy to understand the UI and the UX in and of itself to do the task that is day trading. It makes it very easy to do that. If you're a day trader, then that's good for you. But I've come to find out now that I'm not a day trader. I am an investor. I'm in things for the long haul. And there are benefits to that. And there's motivations that I have that keep me motivated to do things that are in my best interest as a long-term investor. But at the time, with no concept of why I was doing it, what I was doing it for, I just had this extra income. I figured I would try my hand at day trading and making money. And, I would buy stocks and sell them, buy things with the intention of holding on to them, and I just started reading more, looking at more YouTube videos. There must have been some Facebook, Instagram, some things. And then being invited into WhatsApp groups of people who were doing the same thing. And I decided to start options trading somehow. I was like, oh, I didn't know that there was this other thing. I thought it was just you buy stocks or bonds or whatever and you trade those and then you make money. But no. So I will read out the definition because, I don't have a memory like that. But options are a form of derivative contract that give buyers of the contract, the option holders, the right, but not the obligation, to buy and sell a certain security, aka asset or stock, at a chosen price at some point in the future. So that was from Investopedia. Knowing that I could make money doing this, more money than I was making, not buying and selling stock, but buying these contracts, these options to do things, So there's calls and there's puts. A call is based on the assumption that the price of the stock will go up. So if you're holding a contract that says you can buy this stock at this price, X price, whatever it is, $100, and then the price of the stock goes up, then that contract is worth a lot of money because someone who's ever holding that has the right to buy $100, 100 shares of the stock at $100 when the price is actually 105. So this contract is, now worth a lot of money. And so that's what you're making money off of. You're not making money off of the actual asset. You're making money off of the contract to have the asset. So that's a very simplified version. I'm not even sure that I actually explained that correctly. And that also just goes to show how I was a beginning investor doing something that I did not and still do not fully understand. I no longer trade options, but this is my story. Here it is. And what I did was I took a risk and I bought a contract on Apple. I think I spent $800, which at the time for me was a lot of money. I mean, it still is a lot of money to me right now. And I lost, I think I sold the option when it went through a dip period for $200. So I took a $600 loss on that options contract. I mean, that's what happens. You take a risk. But that really shook something within myself. It was what am I doing here? What are my actual goals? Because I don't have any. I don't have any goals right now. I'm not doing anything with any motivation behind it besides make money, which is so nebulous. Make money, but how? I had no strategy. So that's the background. So now I want to dive into my issues with Robinhood. So bear with me because I have a list. I wrote a blog post about my experience with Robinhood. And if you're interested in reading that, you can go to my website, which is linked in my bio, I believe, or on any of my social medias. You can also get to my website from there to read in depth about my experience. But these are the reasons why I, as an investor, do not use Robinhood. We'll get into it. So my first issue with Robinhood is I'm not a fan of technology that uses human psychology against you to get you to do things. And I particularly think that these tactics are dangerous for beginner investors. To layer on top of that, the gamification of the user interface really does make it easy and intuitive to use, but it's dangerous, and I'm going to go into why. So let's talk about the gamification. The app uses a color system, which is not uncommon. A lot of apps do this. It uses a color system of red and green. Green to tell you when you're winning and red to tell you when you're losing. Very simple, very basic psychology, emotional association, right? If your portfolio is up, you're winning money, you're getting gains, the app is then accented in green to show you that. So all the charts you will see are green. You'll see green percentages. Green means good. Basic color association will tell a toddler that. But if your portfolio is losing money, the whole app will then be accented in a red schema. And again, I'm coming from this as a long-term investor. When you invest, you have to remove your emotions from it. And those color associations are directly tied to emotions. So it's subtly telling you how to feel about what's happening in your portfolio. When it turns red, it's telling you that you should feel bad. And that's not good. Who wants to go into an app that's holding their money, something that is just filled with emotions anyway, and for the app to tell you that this is bad. This is bad. And then when it tells you that it's good, it's I need to do more of the good thing, which is spend more money, buy more assets, make this more green. So it's just using psychology on you in a way that I just don't feel is helpful. I don't feel it's helpful. I don't feel it's productive. My second complaint in relation to the psychology of the app is the notifications that they give you. So this app notifies you entirely too much. And on top of that, you want to be notified. In comparison to other social media apps, maybe there's notifications that you don't care about. But when it's your money, or at least when it was my money, it was yes. Do you want to know when the market shifts 5%? Yes. Do you want to know when this stock that you're following that you have an option out for shifts 5%? Yes. I want to know when this goes up, when this goes down. I want to know when the market opens. I want to know when it closes. Yes, yes, yes to all notifications. So that then leads you to, or led me to being almost addicted to opening this app and looking at my positions and looking at my money and like calculating when I'm going to make a trade and calculating when the best time to make this move is. And it was an entirely unhealthy, like just mental state to be in. And, you know, I don't think I have an addictive personality, but I do believe that that app triggered some addictive tendencies in me. You know, someone who's a psychologist could probably go in depth to explain what's exactly going on neurologically with all of the pinging and the dopamine and the responses to what's happening in the app. But at the very basic level of things, I have an understanding, and I have become very hyper aware of when notifications and technology is working on me in a way where it has the control and I don't. And that is what I felt like was happening with me and Robinhood. And then the third reason, and I'll just kind of lump all of these things together: education on the app, the customer service or lack thereof of customer service on the app. So education and finding resources, I'll talk about that first. For all the praise that I gave the UI and the UX before about being very intuitive, being very easily laid out to understand, to make trades, I will give them a ding for the user experience of finding educational information and finding just general information about the company, your accounts. Like I mentioned, I felt like Robinhood and other apps are gateway apps for beginners. They're very easy to get started, but where I do feel like it's lacking is the educational material. Maybe they do have like a blog or something or articles. Like for example, with E-Trade, there's constantly articles, communications, resources that I can go to read about what the heck it is I'm doing here, you know? The app walks you through how to make option trades. But the fact that they walk you through things with a tutorial like it's a video game, it feels weird to me. So do with that what you will. That's just my opinion. That's very strange to walk me through something like I'm playing a video game when it's like money related and I should really be educated on what I'm doing, because I could be like losing money. I don't know. That's it. That's just how I feel about it. So to my second point of this point, the user experience of finding not only educational information, but just information in general about your account. So after my whole like options trading fiasco, which again, I linked in my blog if you would like to read about that, it's very in depth, I decided that I needed to educate myself on what I was doing, and I wanted to pull my money out of Robinhood and go elsewhere with it. You incur a fee for doing this. I was willing to accept that risk. Finding the information on how to close your account, move your assets was impossibly hard. Impossibly hard. And I am a user experience researcher. I worked in user experience for 3 or 4 years. And the way that their menus and finding information is set up is abysmal. So then I had to contact their customer service, and I didn't get a response for weeks. And that got me to thinking, like, do I really want to have my money in a brokerage account where I cannot get in contact with somebody? They don't have a phone number, but I can't reach anybody. If something happens immediately, I have to email and wait weeks and weeks for a response. And I was like, this is not for me. That's what it might be for you. It might be for someone else who doesn't care about stuff like that. But with me, if money is happening, then I need to be able to talk to somebody. And I need to be able to talk to somebody immediately, if not sooner. So yeah, aside from that, it was just, those are my personal reasons for why I didn't like Robinhood. And then to layer on top of that, to put the cherry on top of this proverbial cake that we're building here, the social impact of everything that was happening and going on with Robinhood at the time. I'm not going to go in depth into all of these because you've probably heard about them in the news, and I will also link articles below. One of the things is that they were fined for not being honest with customers about how they actually make money. They do not charge you a fee to manage your account, but they do charge fees on the trades that you make, and they did not disclose that properly, so then they were fined. You can read about that below. And then the whole like GameStop situation happened. I mean, you can Google people who will tell you all about that. But that also left a bad taste in my mouth because they were stopping people from selling, their assets for whatever their reasons were. The math wasn't mathing with Robinhood. It just wasn't making sense in my head. And the irony of it all is like, it's called Robinhood. Anyway, so that was another thing. And then there was a situation that happened where there was a glitch or someone made a trade that they probably shouldn't have been making. Just my opinion. It showed like, millions of dollars. It showed them millions of dollars in the negative, and they really thought that they had made a mistake or that it was something of their fault, that they had lost all of this money that they did not have, and they took their own life. So after all of that, like, negativity and boohooing Robinhood, I don't think it's a bad app. I think that you should go into it knowing what you're there for. And if you are there to day trade, then good on you. I hope you understand the risks with that. I hope you understand yourself and your own risk tolerance, how much you can take. I hope you understand, how much you are willing to lose, gain, whatever that may be. It's your own journey. I also hope you understand the market, tax implications for what you're trading. At the end of the day, I'm not your mama. You can do what you want. You can use whatever app you want. I can only give you my experience and my opinion on this YouTube channel. And, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't advise you on what to do and what apps to use. I can give you some recommendations. Like I said, if you are interested, Robinhood is great for day trading. There are also other options if you're interested in, doing long-term investing or beginner investing like Stash or Acorns or something like that. And if you are a little bit more savvy, a bit more educated, looking for more robust options, you can look into some of the big dogs, E-Trade, Fidelity, Vanguard. And yeah, if you're working for an employer who has a 401k, that is a great way to start investing, start your journey and, learn more about it. And maybe Robinhood is for you, but it wasn't for me. So that's the end. Again, if you made it that's the end of this. So thanks for watching. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. If you could please, again, do those things like, comment, share, subscribe. Those are 4 things, and any one of them will help the channel out. It will help me out. It will help this grow. So I'd love to hear from you. I'm on all the socials at Yaya Ooh La La, and I will see you next time. Bye.